Ricky and Galin here. I'm on Thursday afternoon at Northwood at the football field. They're going to have a 7-7 scrimmage going out here. But that's not what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about, oh my gosh, there he is, the coach of the track and field team, Mr. Cameron Eisenhower. And Cameron, why are we out here this afternoon?
We're out here to discuss the pole vault pit funded need that we are trying to request funds for.
All right.
And currently I'm on the pole vault runway, which is supposed to be rubberized like you see over here on the long jump.
So the long jump, this is all rubberized.
That's all rubberized.
So hold on here. I'm just going to go. Yep, you can feel this spring in that. But this is not, and you've got what, matting? Did you get that out of somebody's kitchen?
No, this is an old rollout rubber runway.
Okay.
That was here before I came in 2019 that we used, but
So you don't even know how old it is?
I don't know how old it is.
Okay, but it's old.
It's old.
It's old, okay. So let's just talk about pole vaulting, because folks may not understand what it is. So what's the art, what's the sport behind pole vaulting? Do we start off back here?
Yeah, so pole vault is a unique aspect of track and field. It's part of the vertical jumps along with high jump. You have a pole that's really long. It's based off how high you're jumping and also your body weight, so you don't break it. It started in England with just some guys that were wanting to cross creeks, and they would take their pole like this, plant it, and swing up and over, and that kind of developed into the sport that it is, and it's been in the Olympics. And here at Northwood, we've had a lot of success. There's been 2 state champs. Tessa Sheets, who is at Purdue, getting her master's degree. She was a state champion indoor and is ranked in the top 5 all-time for women indoors. And then Sophia, I can't think of her last name, but she went to Gardner-Webb. And then just last year, we had a regional pole vaulter, Jake, go to regionals, and it's a great success for the team and for athletes that might not be the fastest or the strongest, but can learn how to pole vault because it's very technique oriented, and in terms of team points, it can really help your team go above and beyond when you're trying to compete for a conference, regional, and state title.
So a student athlete who's a pole vaulter's got a different set of, a different skill set or a different collection of talents to be able to be successful at this, it sounds like.
Correct. You have to have a little bit of speed, but a lot comes with balance, coordination, flexibility, that fearlessness of going up in the air and landing on a mat, and then your upper body and core strength as well.
Now, you said you're using long poles. We're not going to get into specifics of that, but how high up would you be jumping?
Tessa went up 13 feet, and our males can go, in the state, go as high as 16 feet.
Okay, so 13 feet, 16 feet. So basically, we're talking about somebody going twice the height of you jumping.
Correct.
And then when they get over the pole, I assume they land in some padding.
On a padding, and that's on top of pads underneath.
Okay, so, and you're talking about updating this track and the pole vault device at the end. We're going to take a quick look. But you mentioned some guys having to jump over a stream. We're not putting a stream in here, are we?
Correct, no.
No stream, okay.
That will stay on the cross-country trail.
We're going to do it. We're going to keep it simple. So somebody would start off, and are they picking up speed as they're going down here?
Yeah, so they'd be holding the pole like this. They'll be running fast as they can go, gradually picking up speed till they get to the end.
And there's no difference if you're a left-hander or right-hander as to pole vaulting?
No.
Okay. So it's whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with.
All right, so somebody would be running down this track a lot quicker than we're walking.
Correct.
And they get down to here. And what's the technique once they get down to here?
So once they get down to here, they're going to kind of relax a little bit in their arms.
Right.
And once they're getting to this step, they're going to turn the pole up this way, putting the end of it in the box, and they'll be in this position here, and the pole will be bent, and then they can come this way, go up with their feet, and then land on their back.
All right. So one of the things we're looking at is this pole vault box right here. And you mentioned this has been here probably almost as long as the school has been.
Correct. So probably at least 40, 50 years old.
All right. And the problem with this, you were showing me this earlier, is it's rusting through, isn't it?
Yeah, it's rusting through. So if they stick their pole down in here, you can tell it's starting to go through and chip away as well. and that's a very dangerous hazard because they're just going to fall right back down.
When was this actually used? The last time this was used?
2019, I think.
Okay, so it's been out of commission for 3 years.
Yes.
Because quite honestly, I mean, you can take a look at that, and that's just not safe. I don't think you wouldn't want any of your student athletes doing this.
Correct. No.
All right, so you're talking about fund to need. What are we talking about? We're talking about replacing that box and doing what else?
Replacing the mats and then the top cover that cushions their fall when they're coming down, as well as the standards, which raises the bar up, and the pads around the standards to protect the athlete if they fall on it. And we do have this is a box collar. We have a box collar pad that's yellow. That's in pretty good shape. That will protect them if they fall where I'm standing.
All right, so the box collar fits around right here.
Correct.
And just covers it up so they're not hitting the concrete or asphalt or anything else. All right. What are we talking about price range? Because you mentioned there's several different options. You can either go brand new or you could find something that's used.
Used right now is looking anywhere between $8,500 to $10,500. And I got a quote for a brand new one from Ritchie Athletics, which is a great company based out of Wisconsin. They are owned by brothers, so they take great pride in their work, and it's around $24,000 for a brand new kit. And that's the going rate in today's market with higher prices for materials that are the inputs that go into the product and the inflation that they have to account for.
Right. And this pit's lasted somewhere between 40 to 50 years. So if someone helps fund the need on this and you get a new pit, it's going to last. Whether it's a used one or a new one, it should last for quite a while.
Correct. It should last over 10 years.
Over 10 years. All right. So it's a pretty good investment. And as you mentioned, Northwood's been successful with producing folks who've been championship grade level on this. Anything else we need to do? Because we're going to take a look at the padding. Is that what we're doing next?
Yes. Next we'll head up to look at the padding and all that stuff. All
right. So folks, just another quick look here. This is what we need to get replaced. As you can tell, gosh, you got all sorts of stuff sticking out from there. Yep. Yeah, I don't think I would want to have my kid jumping through that. So we need to take a look at that. There'll be more information as to how to fund this need. If you do get a new box, what's the installation time? How quickly could you have it up and running?
I'm not sure. I don't think it would take me and the athletic director long to do it. He's pretty skilled at doing this kind of stuff, so I think we can knock it out probably in a day.
All right. Sounds good. Let's move on to the next place. Now moved over into the storage area, and Cameron's going to show us. What are you going to show us? Because it looks like there's like some supersized padding in here.
Yeah, so these are our base pads, and as you can tell, they have a lot of give in them.
Right.
Especially here. And then we're starting to lose the padding over the netting, and then developing some holes, and the foam
it's starting to deteriorate.
It's starting to deteriorate, as you can see, which is not safe because this is what they'll land on. But on top of these will be this pad right here, and as you can see, that foam is starting to deteriorate as well. You can just take chunks out of it, and the netting is just...
Can you glue that back in?
No. Okay. So that's going to be a problem, but I'll fix that later.
And how thick is that? Can you use your arm or your hand to see so we can figure out exactly how thick it kind of is?
This pad's about this thick.
All right, so that you got an idea.
About 2 feet.
Okay. So it's more than enough. It's just that it's not in the best condition.
No. I'm 27 years old, and these are way older than me, and they need to be replaced usually every 7 to 10 years.
All right, so this is like twice the standard lifespan of these things.
Correct.
All right. So I can see why you don't want your student athletes out there. The box is rusted out, hasn't been used in at least 3 years. This padding is still sufficient, but not up to par. And if you replace the box, are you also looking at replacing the padding?
Correct. Everything will be replaced.
Okay, so we're going to start and have a nice, fantastic looking facility for.
And we'll definitely be looking to update our poles, which you can see is.
Can you pull one of those off, or is that
Yeah,
too
I
much
can pull-
trouble?
I can pull this off.
Because Cameron had mentioned earlier there that they're long. We didn't get into specifics as to long. This may take a little bit of time, but
And this pole is older than me. It was used by our old pole vault coach before he stopped.
wait a minute. The old pole vault coach actually pole vaulted?
Yes, he pole vaulted here in the 80s. Jackie Ford.
Okay.
And he's a great pole vault coach. So here is where we'd have the our grip.
Right.
And we'd be running down the runway, and then we'll get a full.
All right, hold it right there. I just want to show people you're starting off from there.
Yeah, I'd have to get down. So if my plant box was down there at the concrete,
Right.
this is where I would plant here.
And how flexible is that? I guess it's flexible enough, but it has to be sturdy enough, but
Yeah.
flexible enough to bend so you can actually be
Correct.
successful doing it.
And at the end of each end, it has the pole weight. This one's coming off, it's 140. So this is definitely not safe for me, but for demonstration purposes, it's fine.
All right. So that pole weight is actually the uppermost weight that it should bear somebody?
Correct.
All right. Well, I bet we could get you down to 140.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. So this is from the top up there going all the way down. How many of those do you have? How many do you go through a season? This one's lasted over 27 years.
It depends on the vaulter's weight and where they're at in terms of height. They may go through a couple poles a season. We have about 6, not many at all, but definitely look into buying some as we progress.
All right. So to wrap it all up, we're looking at a new pole vault box, some new padding to make it safer, and also you're looking for some poles.
Correct.
All right. Anything else we need to cover?
Not that I can think of, Gene.
All right, so folks, you've got the specifics as to what they're looking for. There will be a Fund to Need link out there, and if you want to help out, and Cameron, the two Camerons, Cameron Square, could get this up in a day or two, or update it within a day or two. So you could, when does pole vault, is there a pole vaulting season, or is it part of track and field season?
It's part of track and field season. So indoor track will start in November and run through February. And then outdoor track will start right after that Monday in February and run until the 3rd week of May.
So we basically have until February to get the funds together to be able to have a new pole vault box out there that's safe and good to use.
Yeah, correct. Ideally, I'd like to have it by November because we would also be practicing for indoor as well. Just indoor is a little nicer. There's no cold, no rain. It's very comfortable for the athletes.
There you go. So, folks, you've got the scoop right here. Chatham County folks, I know, hey, there may be a pole vaulter watching this and saying, I would love to contribute to getting that box fixed. And as you can tell, Northwood takes care of their equipment, even though it's old, but it's gotten to the point where they need new equipment. It's just not safe to use the old equipment. Cameron, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Sheen.